devotee's mind becomes broader and transparent, and he can see things equally. At that stage of life, there is peace, and one is situated equally with me as Satchid Ananda Vigraha. Hare Krishna. This chapter describes the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu in the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Prithu. That's basically described in the title of the chapter. So what's going on in the overall scheme of things is that Prithu Maharaj desired to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead by conducting 100 horse sacrifices. And Prithu Maharaj had successfully conducted 99 Ashwamedha Yagyas. When it came to performing the last Ashwamedha Yagya, the sacrificial horse was stolen. Everyone could see the thief running away with the horse. At that time, the son of Prithu Maharaj was instructed to get the horse back. But when he caught up to the thief would adopt a garb of someone in the renounced order of life. This would happen several times. The thief will steal the horse, Prithu Maharaj's son would chase after the thief, and the thief would concoct some form of sannyas to escape capture. Then it is revealed that the thief is Indra. Indra is stealing the sacrificial horse, and it's understood that Indra is stealing the sacrificial horse because he is anxious that someone is trying to steal his position as the king of the heavenly planets. Eventually, Prithu Maharaj got to his feet. Shri Shri Radha Radhana ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. In order to kill Indra, but he was stopped by the Brahmanas. Then the Brahmanas wanted to forcefully summon Indra, but they were stopped by Lord Brahma. Then Lord Brahma instructed Prithu Maharaj. He told Maharaj Prithu to leave his performance of Ashwamedha Yagyas at 99. Otherwise, Indra would invent more irreligious practices in the guise of a follower of the Vedas. After accepting Lord Brahma's instruction, we are brought to this point where Lord Vishnu appears, and Vishnu didn't come alone. He came with his entourage, and included in his entourage is the king of the heavenly planets, Indra. It's a very interesting scenario. The perpetrator is accompanying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and when the Supreme Lord comes before Prithu Maharaj, the victim in this situation, what does the Lord say? Verse number 2 of the same chapter. Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, said, "My dear King Prithu, Indra, the King of Heaven, has disturbed your execution of 100 sacrifices. Now he has come with me to be forgiven by you. Therefore, excuse him." These last two sentences are very significant. Now he has come with me to be forgiven by you. And the last sentence, therefore, excuse him. Just analyzing these two statements, we can see that it is not a question, it's not a suggestion, and neither is it an opinion. Now he has come with me to be forgiven by you. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is very clearly stating what he wants. He wants Indra to be forgiven. And the last sentence, therefore excuse him. It's not a question, suggestion, nor opinion. Therefore excuse him. It is a command. There's no leeway, no negotiation. forgive him is an instruction in our day-to-day interactions. To be polite, we say please. Please forgive him. It sounds much more sincere. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead doesn't do that. Lord Vishnu has already said what he wanted, and he has made a command. Vishnu doesn't appear to be casual. He's being serious. Indra must be forgiven. The victim is told to forgive the perpetrator, but the perpetrator is not being punished. That doesn't make any sense. Indra is the one who is creating irreligious practices, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears to be defending Indra. Lord Brahma had stopped an incarnation of the Lord from carrying out what is supposed to be Dharma, and Lord Vishnu appears to be siding with Indra. So you have to question the situation altogether. What is so special about Indra that the Supreme Lord isn't punishing Indra, but has brought him to be forgiven? For that we have to look at the bigger picture. Just like when you look at a picture on your phone, you zoom into the picture and look at the details of a section of the picture. But the zoomed in section of the picture is not the whole picture. We have to zoom out to see the whole picture. In the same way, right now we are scrutinizing a section of Srimad Bhagavatam, but if you read the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, you'll find a bigger picture to look at. Indra, to our common knowledge, is a rascal, has affairs with the wives of other men. He disturbs the Brahmanas who are seriously engaged in their devotional activities, surrounded by material opulences, forgetful of his constitutional position. But if you read the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, you will find that this Indra, who has made irreligious practices in this pastime, is not the same Indra that received the Vajra, the thunderbolt, which was used to kill the demon Vitrasur. And the Indra that killed Vitrasur, who was a pure devotee of the Lord, is not the same Indra that decapitated Bali Maharaj. Likewise, the Indra that killed Bali Maharaj, who was the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj, is not the same Indra that flooded Vrindavan. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, not all the pastimes involving Indra is the same Indra. Bhagavatam gives us pastimes from different time periods, and different Indras from different time periods are involved. In your mind, you might be critical about one Indra, but you might be offending another Indra that was completely innocent. This happens because in our mind we hear the name Indra, and we group all the pastimes of Indra as attributed to one person, which is false. Let's take Indra that has flooded Vrindavan as an example. This Indra is the son of Aditi, and this Indra has appeared during the lifetime of Manu, who is the son of Vivaswan, the sun god. So if we go to the 8th canto, where the personal names of all the Manus are listed, you'll find the name of the Manu who is the son of the sun god, and that is Vivashvata Manu. He is Manu number 7. Likewise, the Indra that appeared in the lifetime of the 7th Manu is Indra number 7. What this tells us is that there were 6 other Indras before the current Indra. The 6th, the 5th, the 4th, the 3rd, and the 2nd Indra. We actually get to learn important information about them in the Mahabharata, particularly during the chapter where the 5 Pandavas wed Draupadi. You can go to the Veda base online and read it for yourself. So in this section of the chapter of Mahabharata, the father of Draupadi, Draupada, is agitated. How can one woman have 5 husbands? It's not possible. Draupadi's father was having this conversation with Vyasadeva. Then Vyasadeva reveals that Draupadi asked Lord Shiva for a husband 5 times, and Lord Shiva gave her his blessings in her previous life. After revealing the reason why Draupadi will have 5 husbands, Vyasadeva saw that Draupadi's father was still agitated. Then he revealed that the 5 Pandavas were not ordinary living entities. Vyasadeva revealed that the 5 Pandavas in their previous life, in previous millenniums, had once been Indra. Then Vyasadeva gave Draupada the vision to see what each Pandava looked like when they were Indra. Only then did Draupadi's father become satisfied. Now we know of the 7th Indra, who is the son of Aditi and the elder brother of Vamanadeva. And now we can account 5 more persons who are qualified to be Indra and have been Indra before. That is 6 Indras altogether. We are currently short of one short of having 7 Indras. That one Indra that we haven't accounted for is actually the Indra in this pastime. The one who was stealing the sacrificial horse, creating irreligious practices, and so on. In the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we can learn about all the Manus that will appear in this one day of Brahma. And with that, we can also learn who is going to be Indra in that lifetime of Manu. As a side note, everyone should know that each Manu and each demigod are usually called by their title and not by their actual name. Like when we come to the temple, we see a Prabhu and we call him Prabhu. We see a Mataji and we call her Mataji. We see a Sannyasi and we call him Maharaj. In the same way, the words Manu or Indra are just titles and it's not their actual name. For example, the Indra that flooded Vrindavan, his personal name is Purandara. To find out which Indra has been active in this pastime, the biggest clue is to figure out which Manu was also active in the same time period. If you go back a few chapters, when Prithu Maharaj was milking the earth, who was transformed into a calf? It was Swayambhuva Manu. Swayambhuva Manu is the very first father of mankind, and he was born at the beginning of creation. To further establish that Swayambhuva Manu is the current Manu of this pastime, Prithu Maharaj himself is another clue. Prithu Maharaj comes from the lineage of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj is one of the forefathers of Prithu Maharaj. And Dhruva Maharaj's father was Uttanapad, and Uttanapad's father was Swayambhuva Manu. All these pastimes that we've read so far in the 4th canto has happened in the lifetime of Swayambhuva Manu. To further establish this time period is the era of the first Manvantara. There will be a description of the pastime in which, in Bhagavatam, in which it tells us that Dhruva Maharaj's bloodline has come to an end. At that time, Swayambhuva Manu will engage his other son, Priyavrata, as the new ruler. So it's still Swayambhuva Manu's era. Now we know which millennium we are at. we can find out which Indra was active. Canto 8, Chapter 1, text number 1 to text number 18 gives us a small pastime which text number 5 and text number 18 are very important in this regard. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 1, text number 5. Swayambhuva Manu had 2 daughters named Akuti and Devahuti. From their wombs, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as 2 sons named Yagyamurti and Kapila, respectively. These sons were entrusted with preaching about religion and knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 1, text number 18. The Supreme Lord, Vishnu, who sits in everyone's heart, appearing as Yagyapati, observed that the Rakshasas and demons were going to devour Swayambhuva Manu. Thus the Lord, accompanied by his sons named the Yamas, and by all the other demigods, killed the demons and Rakshasas. He then took the post of Indra and began to rule the heavenly kingdom. As we've heard, the Supreme Personality of Godhead had taken the role of Indra, and this same Indra, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yagya, who is the son of Akuti, is the exact same Indra that is being mentioned in this past 2 chapters that we are reading. The Indra that stole the sacrificial horse, the Indra that concocted these bogus forms of sannyas, the Indra that the past speakers were saying is covered by Maya, the Indra that is attached to his position as the ruler of the heavenly planets, the Indra that is described as being envious of Prithu Maharaj. He had been the Supreme Personality of Godhead the whole time. Prabhupada in the purport had explained what is Kaivalya, and he gave the perspective of what is Kaivalya from the Mayavadi point of view and the point of view of the Vaishnavas. But the word Kaivalya, Prabhupada had translated as freedom from material contamination. The personified form of freedom from material contamination was directly involved in this pastime in the form of Indra. But instead of him being glorified, he was treated as a product of Maya. This is what is known as a Mandela effect. A Mandela effect means that many people in the hundreds of thousands or even millions believe in something that is not true. There are many examples of similar circumstances in the modern world. But for us in this pastime, particularly involving this Indra, everyone believes that he is a rascal, but the absolute truth is that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in this time period. This pastime cannot be read at face value as we have been doing all along. In the previous chapter, Lord Brahma even tells Prithu Maharaj this point. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 19, text number 33, Lord Brahma continued, "Let there be good fortune for both of you, for you and King Indra are both part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore you should not be angry with King Indra, who is non-different from you." We may hear the phrase, part and parcel, and you may think Prithu is a jiva, and Indra is a jiva, and I am a jiva, and you are also a jiva, and we are all part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. However, part and parcel is not limited to the jiva tattva. The Shakti tattva, the Shiva tattva, and the Vishnu tattva are also part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you read the word-for-word translation to verse 4:1933, the last stanza is Uttama Shloka Vigrahau, and Prabhupada had translated it as incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Lord Brahma was actually telling Prithu Maharaj, you are an incarnation of the Lord, and Indra is also an incarnation of the Lord. So that was a Mandela effect. Indra, who is involved here, cannot be materially contaminated. He's actually free from anything material. This pastime cannot be read at face value. Now we identify the Supreme Lord. It means that there is a deeper meaning as to why Indra acted as such. In the fifth canto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Rishabdev, adopts one of these bogus forms of sannyas, and irreligious people who were attracted to his activities formed what is now known as Jainism, which is one of the Eastern religions that still exists. These bogus forms of the renounced order was also utilized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, particularly Lord Buddha, to set up Buddhism. Prabhupada said, "No man can manufacture religion, so this Indra in particular couldn't be ordinary. The activity of this Indra had allowed other incarnations of the Lord to attract sinful people and make them faithful." We also get the answer to the question that was asked at the beginning. Why must Prithu Maharaj forgive Indra? Because Indra was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The very first Indra. Had Prithu Maharaj kept a grudge against the Supreme Lord, Prithu Maharaj would no longer make spiritual advancement, and he would become the opposite of Kevalya. He would become materially contaminated. Other Indras, you can curse them to have thousands of eyes. You can curse another Indra to become a woman. You can curse Indra to become a hog. Other Indras can be chased around the three worlds by the sin of killing a Brahmin. You can mess around with other Indras and no one will defend them for their wrongdoings. But you cannot mess around with this Indra. This Indra in this pastime, in this particular time period, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Every devotee who has spoken ill of this Indra, whether casually or officially, has blasphemed the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is an offender. This is an example of having the right philosophy but having the wrong application. In the Mahabharata, after the gambling match, after the Pandavas were exiled, Draupadi was scolding Yudhishthira. She was quoting this scripture and that scripture and why they should fight back against the Kauravas. And Yudhishthira quietly listened to Draupadi's scolding. And at the end he replied to her, "Everything you said is correct, but now is not the time to apply it. Right philosophy, wrong application. You can't preach devotion to the Supreme Lord by offending the Supreme Lord. And that offense will hang over one's head like a guillotine." Once Bhrigu Muni went out to test who was best amongst the Guna avatars. You can find that pastime in the Krishna book. He went to the abode of Narayan and he kicked Lord Vishnu on the chest. How did the Lord reply? The Lord apologized. "Please forgive me for not receiving a Brahmana. Did you hurt your soft lotus foot on my hard chest?" Even though the Lord didn't take offense, Bhrigu Muni still had to take birth as Jara the hunter, outside of devotee association, outside of Vedic culture, as a punishment. Bhagavad Gita 9:11. Avajananti mam muda manushim tanum ashritam parambhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwara Fools deride me when I descend in human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. So we have to stop being foolish. We have to practice Krishna consciousness properly, study Prabhupada's books, and take the correct devotee association. That way you can achieve Kaivalyam, freedom from material contamination. Like it says in this verse, your mind will become broader and transparent, and you'll be able to identify the Supreme Lord and yourself as the eternal servant of the Lord. In conclusion, I'd like to point out in the previous chapter, it is titled King Prithu's 100 horse sacrifices. There is something wrong with that title. It should be King Prithu's 99 horse sacrifices. That is a more accurate title. At the request of Lord Brahma, Prithu Maharaj had stopped at 99 yagyas because the last horse was taken by Indra. However, we established that the Indra that had taken the horse was the first Indra, and that was the name of the and what was the name of the first Indra? The first Indra's name is Yagya. So the horse meant for Yagya was taken by Yagya. There is no question of stealing when it was meant for him to take in the first place. So in that way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepted Prithu Maharaj's offering without actually doing the sacrifice. And Prithu Maharaj did do 100 horse sacrifices in that way. I'll stop over here. Any questions or comments? Granta Srimad Bhagavatam ke, Srila Prabhupada ke.